So welcome back to Insport the Talk Show. It's Marion here. Yes, guys, I hope you guys are doing well. Before we go into the main episode today, I just wanted to release this little session just to let you know of what to expect. Yes, this is a real life story as narrated by the person who went through all of this. However, we had to distort the voices just to protect the person at stake and also privacy and confidentiality issues. So yes, I hope guys would like it, even though it's not the usual voices that you're used to. Make sure you stay safe and take care of yourself, and like and subscribe to this content. Thank you guys so much and enjoy.
Okay, so welcome to Insport the Talk Show. So today we're honoured to have you on board, and for those of you that don't know you, just quickly introduce yourself if you don't mind, please.
Yeah, hello. Nice to meet you all. I'm Kay. You can call me Kay. I'm just a simple person, and as you all know, I'm life driven. So that's something that you could know about me.
First of all, where are you from originally?
Pardon?
Where are you from originally? Where were you born?
Oh, I was originally born in Ghana. Yeah, Ghana in Ipa.
Okay. Okay. So how long did you live in Ghana?
Oh, I lived in Ghana, I'd say, most of my time. Like, I lived in Ghana, schooled in Ghana and everything. So moved into the UK roughly about 9 years to 10 years now.
Okay.
That's it, yeah.
So how old were you when you came to the UK?
Oh, when I came into the UK, I was 16 going on 17, yeah. I'd say, yeah. That's when I came into the UK, yeah.
Good to know. So, sorry to be intrusive, but I'm trying to build a story. So, when you came to the UK, did you have family here, or you came with your family when you came in?
When I came into the UK, I had family here already. Okay. I had my mom, my uncles, my aunties, and all that here already in the UK. So it wasn't that too difficult, I would say. And then again, my father was here in the UK before he passed on. So literally, my parents were here in the UK. Yeah, but I didn't meet my dad here because my dad came in from my mom when I was just 6.
Yeah.
And they left me in the custody of my granny.
Okay.
So, yeah, so the last time I saw my dad was when I was 6 years old. So I never saw him again till he passed on. Yeah.
Okay. So how was your experience when you came to see all your family? Did you come to visit, or was it your intention to stay when you came to the UK?
To be very honest, it was my intention to stay. Before I intended to visit, but reasons was I really wanted to see my parents again, because when they left, as I said before, I was at 6 years old. So my father had passed on. I wanted to see him before he passed on, before he applied for me to come over to stay with them. Because my dad was British before I was born, so I'm British by descent. Okay. So he intended to come for me.
Let me not get into that now. We'll get there. So you were saying that your dad was not too well, so he was trying to get you over so you can see him. Is that
yes.
What you're saying? Okay. So you came by. What year was that?
I came by 2000 and. Are you talking about when I came in, or when he invited?
When he came in for the first time.
When I came in for the first time was 2012, 2013.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when he came, how was your dad doing?
No, he has already passed on before I came in.
Oh, so when he came, he already passed. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, he passed in 2004.
Okay.
Yeah. During that time, he made arrangements to come get me, but it wasn't successful.
Oh no.
So I never saw him. So he passed on.
Okay, that's very sad. Okay. So then you came over, then your mom and obviously your other family members were here. Okay. Yeah. So how did you settle in the UK? How did you see, what was your first experience in the UK? Was it good, bad when you came?
it wasn't the best, but I was happy because I could see my mom again for all those years when I was a child. I was in the custody of my granny and all that. All the memories I had of her was when I was a child, and then I used to talk to her on phone.
Yeah.
But seeing her for the first time, I was a bit relieved, but it wasn't the best because my best friend, who happened to be my dad, had passed on. I never saw him. I never said goodbye. I never saw how he was buried. So it was a mixed feeling. I'll put it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So when you came, also you obviously were trying to get along with obviously everything that's been happening, and also trying to grieve your dad's passing. Did you start to work? I'm guessing you came in with a visitor's visa. Was that correct?
I would say it wasn't really a visitor's visa because I had a work permit attached to it.
Okay.
But it wasn't for like a long time. So when I came in, obviously, when you're given such visas, you don't have what's it called? You're not allowed to have public funds for a while.
Yeah.
So during that time, I was just home. I was not doing anything till after a year because it wasn't that easy getting a job, and then the visa was also limited. So after the visa had expired, all I had to do was find ways to work, which I did. But it wasn't the right way I would put it. But I had to find ways to survive as well.
Of course. So you would say your first year was very challenging, even though you your mum, but it wasn't as you expected it to be.
Not at all. It was really challenging.
So when did this whole home office issue came in? So you obviously your visa probably expired, and
yes.
Did you make an application, or did they write to you? How was it? How did it happen?
Okay, the genesis of all this was, as I said before, when I was a child, it was applied for when I was just 6. The Home Office refused to...
Citizenship, is that what you mean?
Pardon?
What was applied for? Was that your British citizenship, or what was applied for?
No, I would say that, yeah, because my dad, I didn't know what he applied for when I was younger, though. But what I know was he applied for it, it was refused, and it had a review in the court. The Home Office refused to look into my case till when my father died. After he died, they brought in a letter saying it has been refused. So I had to go through a whole lot of stuff again. Like I had to find ways and means to get here, which I did. So when I got into the UK, I applied via my mom.
Okay.
I used private life.
Okay.
To at least secure my stay, which I did, but it wasn't successful. It wasn't successful. I don't know if it was because of my father's the previous application I did, which they refused. I don't know if it was due to that. I don't know. But when they brought in the refusal letter, they said to me, they realize I'm British by descent and all that, so I should rather apply for citizenship. That is the naturalization and all that, and that's the only way I could secure a stay here in the UK, which I did. But again, it wasn't successful again. It looked as if there was something going on. There was something wrong somewhere, which I didn't really know about. It got to a place. They asked me to bring my Ghanaian passport, which they already had.
Yeah.
So I didn't know why they still asked me of something they already had, which they knew. They were well aware they had it, but they're still asking me of it.
So were you saying that they were a bit negligent? Because you gave something some time ago, documents of importance, but they probably lost it.
Yeah, they did. They did lose it. Yeah, they did lose it.
Okay, so obviously you put in the application and it was refused. Okay, during that time, how were you responding to that refusal? Were you strong? Were you depressed? How were you taking this in?
It was terrible. It was I wouldn't know how to put it, because one of my aunties who knew about all this could just sit somewhere and talk to his friends. Oh, Apalari,
So
understand?
this child has nothing, yeah, for those that
Yeah.
don't understand. Yeah.
It had nothing. Someone who's supposed to be family, who's supposed to like comfort me,
Of course.
go around talking about my issue. Some of
Mm.
my friends were like, "No, no, let's go here, let's go there," but they didn't know about my issue. They didn't know about my situation. They didn't know what I was going through. So all I would just say is, "Oh, I can't make it. I'm busy. I'm doing that. I'm doing that." So they had this notion. Oh, maybe he doesn't have nothing. Why isn't he going with us? Why isn't he traveling with us? So I had issues with some of my friends. I had neglect with some of my friends. People weren't talking to me. I was very emotional at that moment in time. The world came down. All I had was God.
Amen.
All I had was God. Everybody turned their back against me, aside God and my mom. My mom was my great inspiration. She was there for me all the time. Everybody was just away from me. I went through hell. I could do fasting like 14 days, 15 days. It came so much. It got to a time I just wanted to end everything because I went through deep depression. I could just make tea and I'll just get something like bleach and I'll just pour it in it.
Wait, let me stop you because this is very interesting.
Yeah.
Were you thinking about doing this, or did you actually take the step to attempt to end your life?
It just came. I just wanted to because I had gone through a lot.
Yeah. But so did you attempt, or was it just a thought?
I attempted like twice, but anytime I try to do it, I get a call.
Wow.
If I don't get a call, I get a text message.
Wow.
Yes, and then I'm this type of person. I sing in church.
Yeah.
I do praise and worship and all that. So I don't know if it was God who just came in.
Clearly.
It got to a time in my room. I've got a chair there, and I've got my bed. I sit on my bed and I sit in my chair. I'm like, God, today I'm inviting you to sit here in the chair, and I ask questions. They're like, why? What's happening? What's going on? Have I done anything wrong? If I've done anything wrong, could you forgive me? I sing in church. I do this. I do that. Why is stuff being so difficult? Why can't I go back to school? Why can't I work? Why can't I be free? Why can't I be a normal person? During all this time, I was still signing my name in Beckett's house. I had to go there to report my name. It got to a time they brought me a letter. They've already applied to get a ticket to send me back home.
Wow.
That was how far I got to.
So with the reporting, how many times were you reporting in a month?
I had to go there 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. Every fortnight I had to go in there.
Okay, so for those that I've never, me myself, I don't know how that works. How was it like to walk in and report every two weeks? How did you feel every day?
You feel like a criminal in the first place. In the first instance, when you get there, you have to queue forever. You have to go there. If you want to get in a bit early, you have to go in very early to queue. You have a long queue. You have to queue. You get in there, and the security guard treats you like you're just nothing.
Yeah.
They have this notion. I don't know how to put it, but you're treated anyhow. You get in. You go through security. They'll check you. You take all your belongings and put it aside, and then you queue in and you submit your paper, and then they seize you and then they log you on. I know a lot of people I went in there with that never returned back, and we took them back to where they came from. There's a certain room they take you in for an interview, and then when they're having an interview, they record what is going on. So
like police station, literally, like you've committed a crime.
It's like you've committed a crime, but it's worse because how they treat you there is terrible.
Wow, this is serious. And how long were you reporting for? For how many years were you reporting for?
I think after a year, after visiting, after a year, I just was when I stayed on for a year without working and everything. They gave me a letter to come in to report, but I went there, I didn't go there anymore. So I'd say if I add it up to it, let's say for 6 years.
Wow, that's a long time of trauma.
Yeah, a long time of trauma. And then and then every day people go in and they never come back. If you enter into the room, there are places down they take you down. If they want to take you away, there are doors they open and they take you deep in there. Before you see yourself, you're in Heathrow, and then they're taking you back to where you belong to, or back home. That is how it was. It was terrible. So all of this was going through my mind, and then family and friends, people who were like secluding themselves from you because they had no proof, but they could just yes, but they had no proof. That's how it was. It was terrible. It's like being like a vegetable in the kitchen.
Okay, let me stop you right there. So at that time, how old were you?
As I said before, when I came in when I was 16, 17.
Yeah.
So from 16, 17 going through, that's what happened.
They were very young, because a lot of times when you talk about immigration, you think, oh, there's always the old people's problem, but a young person can go through all of this.
Yes, I went through that.
You know, a very young person, someone under the age of 20, going through all this trauma, and someone that especially lost a dad as well. You're grieving your dad, and you have to go through all of this. So
yes,
I can imagine, you know, the mental state that you were going through at the time. Did you ever take medical help, like a counselor, or, you know, you went to your GP for any medication, or was it just something that you dealt with, you know, by reading your Bible and obviously with your mum's support?
It was my mom's support and my pastor's support. Because
reached out to
you. No, I didn't. Okay. I didn't go to any hospital. No, I didn't.
That's good. That's good. Right. So, how did you ever? I mean, with this application, I'm guessing you saw lawyers, right? Or was it something that you dealt with yourself?
Yeah, I saw lawyers. I saw
lawyers. Obviously, you're not working. I'm guessing income-wise, you know, you probably don't have that much money or savings. How did you raise the money to fight the legal costs? Because I know it's very expensive.
Yes, as I said before, after a year, I started working. I started working, but it wasn't like legal. So I earned very little. And again, as I said before, I'm a musician, so I go to parties, I go to funerals, I go to churches, I go to crusades, and then I perform, I sing. And the little I get, I put all together. And I use that with the help of my mom to pay my lawyers.
Yeah.
You have no idea how it feels.
How was your experience with the lawyers? Do you think that they helped you, or you had good and bad experience? Was it mixed?
It was mixed, but they tried all they could to help. They tried all they could to help. They literally tried all they could.
Right, okay. So, obviously all this battle was going on for some years. 6 years, you said, right? 6 years, 7 years?
6 years, let's say 67 years.
Back and forth.
8 years, yeah.
Back and forth. So, now, I'm guessing everything is settled now. How did it come about?
After going through all that, blah, blah, God came in finally.
Amen.
I applied for naturalization.
Yeah.
And then I applied for it 3 times. 2 of them was refused. So the third one, I sent it in. And before it got refused, I met my half brother.
Yeah.
So through my half brother, I was able to get a DNA from him. And then I had to go through a lot to get. You know,
so when I applied for DNA as well.
Yeah, I had to go through DNA because the previous ones I did was refused because my father wasn't around to have a DNA with him to prove that he's who I'm saying he is.
Yeah.
And then I applied on the grounds of British white state. So it was just going up and forth like that. So what happened is I was able to get, that's another topic to talk about. I was able to get DNA from my brother. I was able to get his birth set, which proved we are from the same father. And then I reapplied for the naturalization. So I was home one day, and the Home Office called me, which they normally don't do. I was home with my mom, and then a lady called me from the Home Office, and she said to me, she's got my application with her, and then she's sorry about it. She has to refuse it. And I'm like, refuse again? Why? What's going on? I gave you all you wanted. And he said, no. We're refusing it on the basis that you don't qualify for naturalization. You're already British by descent. You don't need to.
They had it wrong all along.
Yeah, you had it all. She had to apologize. They had it wrong all along. And then I don't have to go through naturalization. I just have to apply for a passport. So she sent me a link and she sent me a letter. And she sent a copy to my lawyer. And she said to me, look, okay, get that letter, add it to your supporting documents, and then present it, which I did. And it was like watching a movie, like as I stood, all the memories came back. So all this while all I went through was just wrong stuff I had to go through. I just went through all this for no apparent reason. Because in the first place, I wasn't supposed to go through all that. But I had to go through all this just to glorify the name of God. Because if I hadn't gone through that and I had it so easily, I wouldn't really value the passport as we speak now. So I applied for the passport. I had a letter. I went to. They interviewed me, and the questions they even asked me, you could see it wasn't any important questions they asked. And then they said to me I should receive my British passport in 15 working days. I went there. I went to the passport office on Tuesday. On Wednesday, the next day, I had a delivery.
Wow! So it was already.
It was just they put it on my door. When I got the passport, I was in shock. I couldn't scream. I couldn't talk. All that came was tears, pure tears. I couldn't do nothing. The world froze. There was nothing I could do at that instance. So I was like, I had to go through all this for all these years for just a piece of book with my name and my details in them, just to stay in this country. It is not for God. It was like a dream. Like if I even remember, if I get flashbacks, it's like I'm watching some movie put together or something, because it was just mind blowing. There was nothing at that instant. As I speak, at that instant, I didn't know what to do. If I should shout, if I should jump, I don't know. I was just in shock. My mom came in and I just gave her the letter. And she's like, but they brought the passport. Why aren't you happy? I just didn't know.
Yeah.
So all I did was just call one of my friends. I happens to be Marian. And I told her about it. And that was it. Because I didn't have a lot of friends. So I had it on Wednesday. On Saturday, I was in Germany. Just to shut everybody up. Those who were talking, he doesn't have this, he doesn't have that, he doesn't have this. They saw me and I posted it on my Instagram and on my WhatsApp. And everybody was shocked. Everybody, they knew how God operated. They were so like, hey, so they didn't even make you live to remain. You didn't even get indefinite. You didn't even go through the exams. You didn't even do the nationalization. It was shortcut, right? I would have gone through 11 years to get that passport. But God just cut all those years away and just gave it to me the time I needed it the most. It just came. And then everybody those that were talking, they are now about to apply for naturalization. Some of them too are yet to apply for indefinite leave. They already have the passport. And they were shocked. And I told them this is how God works. You go through all this, but always remember the sunshine after the storm. So if you're going through something, yes, you could ask God and all that, but always know that it's time. It's time. And then just don't panic. As far as God is with you and God has said, He will make it for you. He would make it for you. Even if you're 100 years, He would make it for you.
That's a powerful testimony. So just to wrap up, what is your advice to anyone? I know you kind of said it, but just to highlight it, what is your advice to anyone that's going through, immigration issues? They have been there with deportation orders and everything. What do you say to them?
What I would say is, One, don't panic. Two, if you're a Muslim, Christian, any faith you are in, just hold on to your faith. Never lose hope. Never lose hope. Remember that if you won't make it, you won't see tomorrow. If you won't make it, you won't see tomorrow. And hey, even God who created the world didn't put barriers, but people put barriers.
That's what
before you enter into the country. Yeah, so you should always know that. How do I even put it? Just have faith. Even if, and always notice that even if you're taken back home, maybe that's God's purpose for you.
Yeah, that's where your destiny lies. Yeah,
that's what your destiny lies. So
yeah.
Don't give up, and never think of doing anything back to yourself. If I had killed myself, and I had brought the letter, and I had brought the passport, what would I have achieved? I would have just killed myself. But always remember, there's God somewhere, and prayer really works. That's what I have to say. Yeah, prayer really works.
Okay, thank you so much for your story and also for encouraging everyone that's going through similar issues. Guys, I hope you loved this session, and if you have any questions, make sure that you put it down in the comment sections. Make sure you like and subscribe to our channel, and also share this session with your friends and family so they can be encouraged by Kay's story. Kay, so thank you so much for today. And I know greater things are ahead for you in life. And I know you're going to go far with your story. You're going to encourage many more people. And this is just the start of something great. So thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your weekend.
Thank you for having me as well. Thank you so much.
Bye.
Bye.
Say what you wanna say to me.